Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be focusing on Toxicroak and Poliwrath here, teamed up together on the same team. So we have a double fighter. The strategy here is to go in with Poliwrath, and once they do possibly get rid of it, they feel the threat of fighters are gone. And then I do have the Lickilicky. So Poliwrath is, of course, going to be weak to grass. So we're looking at Venusaurs. I don't really see too many Meganiums. And then we have the Toxicroak to kind of combat that weakness to poison. Although Frenzy Plant is still going to be hurting a Toxicroak quite a bit. Then we have Lickilicky in the back just for coverage against those Giratinas. Although the Poliwrath can do quite a bit of damage with the Ice Punch against those. So our opponent is using Escavalier, which he gets bonus points for that because that's the first one I've seen in rank 10 here. So we are using the Poliwrath, and none of us have made a switch here. Both of us have expended a shield on both ends, entering with a Cloyster, and see the fighter threat is possibly gone. That's always a good idea, entering with the Pokemon that was going to counter that Pokemon once it's fainted down. So they have to make a hard decision. So I do go in with the Toxicroak. He hits me with the Icy Wind, lowering my attack, but we're going to make a retreat into the Lickilicky when they do switch it into the Swampert here. Now this one, I'm going to tell you, was a bit nerve-wracking. The Escavalier in the beginning was a nice sight to see for my Poliwrath, but I'm still going to have to play my cards right here because both my Pokemon are low. So we do have one shield, saving it for the right time, and I'm really liking this combination here. So I do have a bit of a problem when I do run into Articunos. We will see one of those lead here into my Poliwrath, and we will see how I maneuver around that. So in comes the Cloyster here, which is a fantastic pick as well. Still waiting to do a lucky trade for one of those so I can max it out, and we're going to be finishing it off with Sludge Bomb there, barely. So that's a good game, and moving on to the next one here. I do believe I'm going to be starting with Poliwrath for all of these battles. So we have a Giratina, and this is going to give you a good perspective on how it's going to perform for each battle and how my team composition is going to be working and not working, where I make mistakes, so you can pick up the pieces there and possibly do a little bit better yourself or compose a better team. I still want to continue to test out Lickilicky. It's been doing great for me, but I'm just in debate on whether or not I want to go with Shadow Ball on it or Earthquake. Shadow Ball has been performing quite nice when I'm matched up against Giratinas for sure, but when I am put up against a, say, Registeel, having that Earthquake is going to be a lot better for me, but you can't have coverage for everything all the time. And I figured this. I have two fighters, so I have Steel covered, Registeel, plus the Toxicroak's Mud Bomb, so it's a little bit excessive going with the Earthquake on the Lickilicky. Might as well go for that Ghost-type coverage here. So entering with our Poliwrath, we're not going to be taking that much damage from the Dynamic Punch, so it's going to be ideal for them to just continuously spam the Ice Punch on me here. And we're going to make a switch, looks like, into our Lickilicky to absorb that punch there, because it can take two Dynamic Punches. So they do go for that. We do use our last shield, and we're going to be going for that Body Slam. So Lickilicky has been turned out to be a fantastic investment. It's not like, oh, it's kind of okay, or I'm just saying that to make myself feel better because I powered it up. No, the thing is performing magnificent. It hasn't let me down. Obviously, there's going to be matchups where it's not going to be so suitable for it, but it is performing great. And I'm choosing it over Snorlax, right? Because of that Shadow Ball coverage for now. So I had a lot of energy on that Lickilicky. I went down without getting off a Body Slam, and you're going to see exactly how I'm going to be paying for that here in just a moment. So just because we resist grass doesn't mean we're going to be able to take a Frenzy Plant by any means. We get off a Sludge Bomb, but Venusaur is such a tank in the Ultra League, it doesn't go down. We had our Mud Bomb there, and if we were able to get off that Body Slam, we would have been able to win there, but unfortunately not. They made a nice switch to take us out, and we take that loss there. Into our next opponent, and here is the Articuno lead. So let's see how I maneuver around this. So technically what I've been doing here is kind of just waiting for them to get off a Icy Wind. I do a Dynamic Punch, and then we wait for this. After that, I make an immediate switch. In this specific case here, I think he was farming extra energy, and that's why I didn't feel comfortable switching, because as soon as I went into my next Pokemon, he would be able to Icy Wind it. So here we go. He is using that energy that he does have saved up, and now I can go ahead and switch into my Toxicroak, doing neutral damage with counters. I thought I might have been able to bait a shield, thinking that it might be Sludge Bomb, but he knew better. He let it go through, and in comes the Gyarados. So our counters are resisted, but they still do decent damage. We're going to be going for that Sludge Bomb, sorry. and almost finishing it out. We're going to let him just get that crunch through, and we're able to do just a little bit more damage before we go down. I think I'd want to enter in with the Lickilicky, finish it off with a little bit of energy on my end here, and just hope they do not have a fighter in the back. And they have that Articuno, and he looks like he's looking to lower my attack, and he's going to be able to do that again if he does decide to shield here. So yet again, Lickilicky looking great. And the last Pokemon is going to be an Alolan Muck. So this is a good situation because I have 2 shields. We're going to be resisting Snarl, so they can't really feint us down with our 2 shields because we're resisting that. So we're just going to go Ice Punch. I'm trying to get that last shield out of him, but he's not playing my game. He knows exactly what he's doing here. So that is an experienced player for sure. Somebody who knows how to save the shield up to the last second here, and that's exactly what he is doing. So our Poliwrath is eventually going to wear him down here with the Mudshots doing super effective damage for our quick move. We have no more shields, but that is okay. We're going to be able to come in with the Lickilicky and get to that Body Slam and then take the win with this team here. So really liking it. Like I said, 2 fighters. It can be pretty bad in some situations for sure. So don't go in, try this team out, and you run into a few bad things here. So we have a Blastoise start off. So let's talk about Togekiss though. How do I work around that? So starting it off with the Poliwrath, I would be able to get a couple of those Ice Punches. Toxicroak is not taking super effective damage because of the poison typing, but it is still going to hurt it a lot. If you're able to get a Sludge Bomb through, that is going to do a lot of damage to the Togekiss. And then the Poliwrath Ice Punch coverage, and then the Lickilicky is just going to be doing good neutral damage with Lick and Body Slam. And able to tank the charge moves. So that is how I work around the Togekiss. I think we run into one here. So we're able to take out that Blastoise. I was really curious as to why they didn't switch. I guess they didn't want me to have switch advantage, and they just wanted to, last as long as they can here, entering with the Giratina. So we're going to go definitely with our Lickilicky. This is what it was made for. And they have a Melmetal, so we're going to make an immediate switch into our Toxicroak. And this is where having double fighters is fantastic. As well as take a look. Do you see any legendaries? Do you see any starters? Absolutely not. But it's not like it's bad to use them. Go ahead. I love using my starters, my Typhlosion and stuff. And I've even used an all legendary team in a mythical. Was it a Regice, a Giratina, and a Melmetal? So, and they're all shiny secondary moves. Go, let's go. But over time, you kind of eventually want to venture off to try something new, and maybe some people don't because of, it's not like the other person on the other end's like, let's use unique Pokemon. They're trying to go in and win. I get it. I understand. But I want to push myself to the limit as well as show you what else you can possibly be using here. Entering to the next battle, we have a Melmetal. These things started popping up left and right. I was like, let's go. Let's do it. So we do not need to shield anything. Typically, what I like to do on my Melmetal is get to possibly 2 superpowers and do them back to back, as opposed to lowering your defense, trying to get to it again, and then you're taking more damage because you just lowered your defense from using it. When you have 2 back to back, you can just spam them. And then I like to retreat as well, in which he did do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch here. And then I'm just going to enter in with the Lickilicky. I'm able to get to 2 Ice Punches on that Poliwrath, but the thing is the Venusaur is going to now be loaded, but it is fairly low. I do believe I go in with Lickilicky. I was making my decision. Oh, I go with Toxicroak. Okay, then. And I do decide to let this go through. He goes for the Sludge Bomb. I think you want to go for Frenzy Plant, for sure. And in comes the Swampert here. So we're just going to go Mud Bomb because, well, the poison's not going to be very effective. And then make a switch into Lickilicky here, preserving that fighter for that Melmetal in the back. And if they do decide to switch into Melmetal, I'll just go ahead and go with the Shadow Ball. This is where also Earthquake would have been great too, right? So we're just going to save our last shield here. Lickilicky just put it in work. In comes the Melmetal as expected, and we're going to get to a Shadow Ball, shield or not, it doesn't matter. Once that shield is gone, the Toxicroak is going to be able to come in and put in work, and not only that, it's going to be able to farm down. So once that Swampert does enter back in, I'm going to be able to hit him with a charge move, and their shields are down. So I already had all this set in my mind. The Lickilicky was just putting on extra bonus damage here, so we're going to come in and do this immediately to get it out as soon as possible. We do have a little bit of energy, but we have a shield too, so we didn't really need to think too much about farming. But need be, that's what the plan B was. So we're able to take it down with the Toxicroak into the next match here. And I did run into a few 9s, but I'll leave those out. So we have another Melmetal. Okay. Alright, so we're getting ready for the switch here. No switch. Or in comes the switch. That was very clean. Very nice. And see, look at all that energy I just wasted. And that is why you need to practice your switches if you do not have those down and know exactly what your opponent is possibly about to do. A lot of times it is hit or miss. I could have went for an Ice Punch to bait him, or I could have saw exactly what it was and held off and pushed it. But a lot of people are vigorously tapping like I was just there, and he was able to catch that and save himself a shield while that is absorbing it. So we do have our Lickilicky counter in here, taking it out, and we still have 2 shields. They still have 2 shields, and we're going to go ahead and go with that body slam. And they do use one of their shields here, and I'm able to get to another one. Looks like they're farming down. They're getting ready to fire off a couple here. And we did have a CMP tie. Looks like they tapped it right when I did as well. And I am not too sure. I think I go Poliwrath to absorb some of these Hydro Cannons. I know they're going to try to bait me because I do have 2 shields at this point. And I do fall for the first one there. And then we're just going to go ahead and go with the Dynamic Punch, hoping they let it go through, but they shielded up, which is perfectly fine as well. Now we're just going to go Ice Punch here. Probably should have built up to a Dynamic Punch, to be honest with you. And I do let this go through. I knew it might have been a Hydro Cannon. Maybe they're trying to bait my last shield at this point. And it's an Earthquake at this point, so we're fine. They're switching into Melmetal. We still have a shield. We do not need to shield anything up. We're going to be resisting Superpower as well as Rock Slide, but they hit me with a surprise Flash Cannon, folks. Let's go. Well done, sir. And I'm able to barely take the win. All right, so that Flash Cannon took me by surprise. Otherwise, Rock Slide, Superpower, Toxicroak has nothing to worry about. But Flash Cannon, surprise, very nice. Into the next battle, we have another Giratina lead. So we're going with that Poliwrath. We've seen this before, but we do not know what they have in the back, so it's going to be played out a little bit differently here. From what I've done and the battles that I've had personally, typically people are not running Shadow Sneak. That is going to be doing neutral damage, as well as Dragon Claw. But Poliwrath can pull out a win there. So they do switch into Togekiss, and look at Poliwrath's tankiness, able to withstand those charms to get to another Ice Punch, but barely holding on. But the Togekiss is almost fainted because they decided not to shield. So we're going to be going with our Lickilicky. We need to get that out of here because of the Toxicroak. Even though it's poison type, it's still going to hurt it, and the quick moves as far as Mud Bomb goes with 2 shields is not going to be helping me out. So they're going to come back in with the Giratina. And we're going to shield that up because I don't feel comfortable losing my Lickilicky at this point. So we're able to get to a Shadow Ball. Let's hopefully let this get through, and they do. All right, so that is the ideal situation for Lickilicky. So they do use their energy here, which I was pretty happy about. But I think this is a loss at this point. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, folks, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll continue to test out Pokemon and bring them to you to see how they do perform. But I'm interested myself. I forgot this one here. What's going to happen? Oh, that's right. They're able to get to an Earthquake. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching, trainers, and I'll catch you all next time.